Guys, welcome back to another video. It is your boy Marnix, and today we're going to be talking about why intense SBMM and movement has changed Call of Duty now. You can make both ways that it ruined and changed Call of Duty for the better or worse, depending on like what type of player. Oh my god, what type of player you are, depending if you're an old school player or you started playing ever since MW 2019. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And here we go. So basically, we have SBMM. Let's go through SBMM, right? Because I think SBMM is a big topic, especially people who defends SBMM, which is I think those people are more of the competitive side of things, especially in the CDL and all that stuff. I think those are the ones who defend SBMM because they truly think that Call of Duty is supposed to be a competitive game, or it has shifted into a competitive game over time, especially through like the jetpack era. It has like slowly became more competitive and more competitive. It has been, becoming less casual, like it was back in the golden age and even the classic age of Call of Duty. It's changed, right? And I just want to say, one argument I want to go over is people always love to say that we and you, I guess me or you, depending on whoever's watching this video, all just wants to pub stomp noobs. Okay, well, yes, I do. Well, no, I'm messing with you guys. I'm messing with you guys. Well, yeah, actually I do, but that's besides the point. Yeah, that was a troll, by the way. Okay, what I gotta say about that argument is that I said it in my last video, but people don't realize you are the worser player unless you were the top fragger or the top player in the leaderboard, right? You are / were the worser player unless you're the best player in the lobby that can slam everybody, right? So don't give me that, oh, you just want to pub stomp news because you're gonna be going against people who is even better than you. It's like going into like a public basketball court match and anyone can join. Like anyone can join. It's not like ranked like in the NBA or whatever, where you have to go against people in your skill level or even better than you, because it's, I mean, you're playing for money and stuff, right? Makes sense, right? But remember, I will always say this: if you want to play like a near a 1 KD experience, or you are trying to play with people near your skill level, or relatively your skill level, there's ranked exists for a reason, right? Literally, ranked exists for a literal reason, for the sake of just getting better, right? And to go against people around your skill level, right? Ranked exists. Ranked is there. Go play ranked, right? I really think that competitive gaming has skewed people's views in terms of playing video games and all that, especially like the type of people I've been seeing defending this intense SBMM system. So yeah, otherwise, I mean, when there's a thing called public matchmaking should just be public to everybody. I will say they really want to protect the newer players so bad. I really like the idea from Simon. I think it was Simon B. I think that's what his name was. He said in one of his, I think in his latest video, or I don't know, in his latest video, as I'm recording this video, he said that there should be like a beginner playlist from levels 1 to 20, and then the players who play on that playlist, once they get out of level 20, once they become level 21, then they are able to get jumped into it, with everybody else in the pool with everybody else, right? I think that's a pretty cool idea, and it would help alleviate like all this argument by saying, oh, you just want to post on news, or oh, these players, newer players, need to be protected too. Well, there you go. A beginner playlist would be kind of cool to implement as well, without necessarily holding their hand. I mean, you're really just, well, teaching them the ropes, I guess you can say. Now, anyways, on to the other arguments. I'm actually going to say against SBMM and why I think it's necessary for some games. And I'll tell you what type of games they're necessary for. For hyper competitive games. Okay? On games like Rocket League, CSGO, Valorant, games with high skill ceilings, those games actually need SBMM, even in the casual modes, because those are hyper competitive games with high skill ceilings. So if a a newer player goes against a player who is highly good at mechanical skill, they're going to be overwhelmed, right? Not even, well, I guess you can pin, I guess because Smurfs exists, that's why I kind of think this. Even in the beginner playlist, there will always be even Smurfs and stuff. You know, the whole idea with Smurfs and all that. I hope you guys know what a Smurf is. Smurf, what a Smurf is just basically you are a, returning player or a experienced player on a new account. You're on like, newer account lobbies and all that. That's what a Smurf is, right? So even, that won't even protect against smurfing, right? So those games need SBMM. I get why those games need SBMM. And also, I guess you could throw in Fortnite, for example. Yes, that needs SBMM because it's a hyper competitive game, right? All I gotta say is that Call of Duty and Battlefield are casual shooters, casual arcade shooters. That is it. Otherwise, let's get into my next point, which is movement. Now, I think movement is more of the main proprietor and more of the main issue that has really accelerated SBMM to even the very limits of its capability. I will say, people don't really look into this a lot more, but I've been noticing something. When I played the Battlefield 6 open beta, I've noticed something. Even the hardcore Battlefield players, even during the early access portion of that beta, I realized something. The people that I was facing against was actually not jumping around and slide canceling and stuff, and that is because of the movement. Now, I know there's this whole debate about, did movement ruin Call of Duty? There's even videos about it that I've seen personally, and even I've saw debunks to those videos, and all that jazz. And I just want to say, I think those videos, while they may seem just like an old man yelling at clouds type videos, they might be onto something. They might actually be onto something. I didn't realize it. But when I watched the BO7 beta, watch people play the BO7, even early access to open beta, there was one thing that I saw. Everyone was playing the exact same. Everyone was slide canceling. Everyone was just, I guess you could say just jump shotting like their life depends on it or something like that. And people were just, using the wall jump. Like I said, I don't have a problem with wall jumping. It's just that I kind of wish it was like more penalized, but whatever. But that is just one thing I want to highlight, and that is just micro-positional movement in Call of Duty has really changed it, because especially you got stuff like slide canceling where like it changes your player's hitbox in a micro level to where like when someone is sliding, it is a lot harder to aim at them than it is when they're just when they're not sliding. Because back in the day, Call of Duty was more macro positional in terms of movement. It wasn't really much micro positional. It was more macro positional. And what I mean by micro is that micro, it means, small, of course, right? But, and the opposite, macro means big, right? So basically the movement was a lot easier to shoot at people, and it was a lot slower for sure, because you had limited sprints and all of that back in the golden age and all of that. But now we have like, well, we don't have tag sprinting unless it was a perk now in this game, but now you have like all of these stuff, and just movement changes a lot. It really does. That's why everyone always say, these TikTok Fortnite kids, movement sliding demons, movement demons. Yeah, that's why movement is so looked down upon. And yeah, I just want to, if you guys can debate about it in the comments if you guys want to, but I just want to highlight that too. Don't forget that movement is also a proprietor into this as well. I think if they went with a BO3 movement system where you have like, how many times that you can slide and jetpack, that would be really cool. And I think it will be a lot less sweaty for sure. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And your boy Monix is out. Whoa, I gotta go. Whoa.